Today's video going to be replacing the head gasket on this 240 because they ended up blowing. This is what a good cylinder compression looks like. And here's what's going on between 2 and 3. So we're getting 30, and here's number 3. And you can see it's the same. And just for reference, here's number 4. So we know that between 2 and 3 it blew. Now let's go ahead and start taking it apart. There's no set order that I'm going by to remove everything. I'm just going to take off what I see that's in the way. First I'm going to take off the intake, 10mm. I'm going to go ahead and take out the battery. We're going to go ahead and take off the exhaust, 12mm. Alright, because of the EGR tube, it's going to be hard to move. We have to remove the other side first. $10mm for the fan clutch. Alright, now we're going to start removing everything that's attached to the head. Going to remove this tensioner for this belt, 14mm. $12mm for the bracket. $12mm for the dipstick tube. $12mm for this distributor bracket. Just going to go ahead and label these vacuum hoses. To clean up this mess, to start messing with the mounts, we're going to first take off the harness, the electrical harness that ties into everything. So if you follow here on the firewall, we got a couple plugs right here. It's for emissions. It gets all your 4 injectors, your temp sensors and all that. So we're just going to go down this harness and unclip everything. Alright, first we're going to get the 2 connectors on the back of this intake manifold. Back of the valve cover, there's 2 plugs. Now you got these 2 connectors. Last one for this side is for the O2 sensor. There you go. I removed the injector plugs when I was compression testing for the video, so those are already disconnected. We got one connector down here. Pull it off. Now we have them for our temp sensors. One's for the ECU and one is for the gauge. Got two connections right here. And the last one is under this radiator hose. It's a tight fit. You can go ahead and walk this harness down. Got two ground wires right here, 12 millimeter. Now we'll go ahead and take off our fuel lines. Now we're going to go ahead and get these vacuum hoses. $10mm for the throttle cables. Now you got your cables off. You can go ahead and just fold that back with the harness. We're going to take out the bracket that holds the fuel lines to the intake, 10mm. $12mm for the valve. There's a vacuum hose on the pressure regulator. We're going to go ahead and take out the fuel rail now, 12mm. There's one more vacuum hose holding the rail. Now you can go ahead and pull your fuel rail. Don't drop any, and you can move it to the side. Now we can do the mounts. There's 5, 3 on the inboard, 2 on the outboard. Here's the last one. You're not going to be able to see it. Here's your intake. Here's your upper intake manifold. We're going to take off this vacuum rail. I already labeled the 2 vacuum hoses on the back. Pop them off. Now we're going to go ahead and take off this upper radiator hose. 10mm. 310s holding the bracket on. We're going to take off this vacuum hose. We're going to move out to the side. We're going to remove the power steering pump. There's three 14mm on the front, and then a hold down bracket on the back, 14mm. Next, we're going to take off the CGR, 12mm. And there you go. EGR is disconnected, which follows around the back of the head and goes into your exhaust manifold. We're going to take off this ground wire, 12mm. Under the intake manifold, there's that one bracket that holds onto the coolant tube. Then there's 3 bolts that support the lower intake manifold. 12mm. Where my socket is, you just go ahead and unscrew that just a little bit, just enough to loosen up this bracket. 12mm for the intake manifold. And once you do that, now your lower intake is loose. So let's go ahead and take it off. And there you go, intake manifold's off. Now we'll go ahead and take out the valve cover and start messing with the timing chain. Zip tied the cam sprocket so it doesn't lose timing, and down here put a zip tie so it can squeeze it and keep any tension on the chain, so right now when we move the bolt, the timing chain doesn't fall down on the crank sprocket. We're going to take out the 4 bolts that hold the head to the timing cover, 10mm. $14mm for the head bolts. We're going to go outboard in. And here you go. The head is off. And right here is our problem. It blew between cylinders 2 and 3. So they were just sharing combustion. Now we get to go ahead and clean up everything and install our new head gasket.